Hi, update about the Sony UVW100 broadcast camera from eBay. So I found the tape drive is a complete mess and it is broken more or less. So something interesting on the bad design, I believe, it is that you cannot remove this overboard cover here if you do not remove the tape drive door. It is quite sad. So here is what it looks like inside. By the way, we have a small PCB here on the door with these plastic straps and flex cables. Here is the tape drive. You can see this is interesting. We have a PCB over the drum with a lot of chip on boards. I counted, I believe, 12 of them. So there must be a pre-amplifier chips for the red heads, I believe. It is quite a nice thing, so if I take it apart, I will keep this complete drum assembly. So while playing with it, I found this part, in fact, did come off. It was the link here, and it is even coming off further, by the way. So this link here was all messed up, and it does not go anymore in its place. I believe for putting this back in place, I should need to take apart completely the tape drive. So a part did fall inside, but I do not see where it is. Quite interesting. Anyway, it is a mess already. So here is the gear for manually actuating the drive, loading and unloading, but for now it is completely stuck. I can somewhat load the drive. Oh, it is here. But it will not go further than this, while it should. But it is very hard to turn and it gets stuck at some point. I believe there is a problem with this part here, which gets jammed with this roller. I do not know why. It is broken here, the plastic rail is broken, but this should maybe actuate in some way, like so, and it is not doing this. If I move it, maybe I will be able to load completely. Yes, it is somewhat loading now, not fully, because this should be flush here. And if I unload, it tries to unload, it is very hard and it does not open the door completely. So here is where I am at for now. I will put this in this position. So here is the cover of the motherboard that you need to remove the door in order to be able to remove the cover. Aluminium or magnesium die cast. Aluminium according to the service manual. Here is the motherboard with all the PCBs mounted on it. And according to the service manual, you can, for removing the CCD assembly, you just need to remove these connectors here and remove 4 screws on the front. The whole CCD assembly on front piece should come off. Here you can see some flat flex going to the control panel, I believe. This was loose, I had to tighten it. Okay, we'll have now a look at the bottom parts because there is some interesting things to see. Okay, so here we are looking at the bottom side of the camera. So first about this tripod mounting plate. Murphy's Law did strike again because I wanted to remove it. The first 3 screws were possible to remove, and the last one is completely stuck. It is impossible to do anything with it. I will need to drill it. So about this cushion here, you can see it is in good condition. In fact, maybe it was replaced at some point, as it is a regular, commonly available spare part. And if I remove it, you can see we have this aluminium plate. It is just covering wires going from the rear part of the camera to the front one. So it is a wire rail, because there was no space inside the camera probably. Here we have some other accessories or test connector. Some access here to the thumb drive, but it does almost nothing, I believe. And now if I remove these 4 screws, so here is the other piece for mounting the adapter plate for big professional tripods. In fact, there is one piece coming here and the other one here, and it is a big plate. I have some of them, but they are in storage for now. If I remove this piece here, we have a plastic cover. It is quite interesting. In fact, it is an ABS cover. You can see this piece is attached to the main frame of the camera, and apart from that we just have the access to all the connectors, all the plugs, XLR, power supply, BNC plugs, and the main camera loom plug, and the DC to DC power converter. It is all what we have in here. At least on this camera, the DC to DC converter did not make magic smoke, so it is good already. Okay, now we will have a close look at the lens, and after this we will test the camera onto a video screen. Okay, so about the lens, well, it is heavily used and worn out, exactly like the camera. So it is a stock lens, I believe, for this camera, so it is not incredibly expensive, and I have already 1 or maybe even 2 in stock in a much better condition. So it is a Canon VCL 713BX. So something to notice first about the rubber parts on this lens. This button here is good. It is a lock, because I believe I am missing one onto another lens. It did turn into goop. But apart from that, well, this rubber cup here seems okay. Here I do not know if it is supposed to be soft, but it is rock hard. This one is more or less okay. This must be okay. And the main issue with rubber is this VTR button, in fact, for triggering the record function of the camera. Well, this rubber cup, guys, is hard like rock. It is absolutely impossible to press on it. Quite amazing. If I take some needle and I try to put the needle in it, it does almost nothing, and it marks the rubber. So this one did turn back, but at least it is not a goop. It is rock hard. So what else? So the damage on this lens Here we have some evidence of melting of the plastic, as you can see. It was probably near a spotlight or something like this. The front piece here was broken because of a shipping damage, it seems, so I did reglue it. And the back focus ring here was broken. I was not able to reglue it very well because I was not able to remove this lens mount. Why? The screws in fact are completely stuck, probably with Loctite. And in fact when you try to remove them, they resist more than the resistance of the Phillips pattern in the head. So all what you do is stripping the pattern on the head and you are going nowhere. So if I end doing a teardown of this lens, it will be really nice to drill. I will need to drill all these screws. Well, I will maybe try another time to remove some of them, but not any of them did move. They are completely stuck. So about this assembly here, it contains just the two motors and some electronics. There is a PCB here. And apart from that, remote plug here. I believe you can mount on this thing. There must be a way to mount one more motor for autofocus. As you can see, there is a gear pattern on the focus ring. So it must be possible to do something. And yes, here there is a threaded hole, so there must be an accessory you can add which allow you to have autofocus on the camera, maybe, or motorized focus at least. Okay, so apart from that, the lamps by themselves are not in bad condition. There are no scratch, very little dust inside. And something else, I'm not sure if you will see it, but look at the piece around this, maybe not with a needle, look at the piece around this inner lens group. Here, exactly here, we have a blob of something, probably grease. Luckily it did not go onto the lens itself, but it is not supposed to be here. There are some smaller ones at the other spots, but this is the main one. Here is also at the bottom. So I have no clue of what happened. Maybe it is when the lens was near the hot spotlight. It did melt some grease inside. Quite weird. Okay, so now we will test the camera and see if it outputs any video signal or not. Thanks for watching, and we continue immediately. So, I'm back. We are now in a room where I have a TV screen available for testing, and here is the dog. So I will be able to test the video signal of the camera. So let me adjust you to the TV screen. Okay. So I turn on the TV. It is an old, almost vintage flat panel TV from 2004, I believe, something like this. So I am on the correct video input. I am connected in a composite to the camera, because anyway I have no other choice with this TV. So if I turn on the camera, it is good. Okay, we have here the test pattern. So I do not know if it will show on the video shoot, but in fact I have noise here, 2 lines of noise, well 3 almost. On the picture there is one on the top, there is one dimmer here and one quite important here. It is random snow like noise. I believe it is a bad capacitors problem in the camera. It is not the TV, it is not the cabling. Well, cable is a little loose, but it does not justify this noise. Okay, now if I switch to the picture mode, here we are. So first I have to select the correct filter. I think this one is the better for the having correct white balance according to the ambient light. Okay, so one thing very important with broadcast lens, you have a back focus adjustment, and if you mess with the back focus you will not be able to have sharp image. So it is important to adjust the back focus first. And now let me show you the zoom. So now I guess you can see the two noise lines, yes, on the picture. So it is coming from the camera, sadly. So here I am de-zoomed completely. If I zoom in order to show you the power of the zoom, so by the way it is quite slow. Here is the maximum zoom for this thing. The focus is pretty sharp when well adjusted. No issues with this. On the colors, I have a reflection on this thing, but as you can see, colors are quite good, nothing special here. Now if I dezoom, it takes a little time to adjust the lightning. And here is the wider position of the zoom. Okay, so the camera is more or less working for video, but anyway, there are these two noise lines and it is useless for me. Composite output video camera, because I have at least 10 of them working. So I still do not know what I will do with this camera, but if you hear about it again, I believe it will be for a teardown, because, well, it is not in very good condition for keeping as a collection piece, and it is not working properly for using, so it may end as a teardown, and the lens probably too, as it is in bad condition. So I will see. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.